Welcome to the media convergence of Stalker video. Stalker is a first-person shooter game series with RPG and action-adventure elements developed by GSC Game World, Ukraine. Game events take place in the alternative world's Chernobyl exclusion zone, Ukraine, present day, where an unexpected anomaly affected the exclusion zone in 2006. As a result, everything changed there, including the physical, chemical, and biological processes. This change caused the appearance of anomalies, artifacts, and mutants. The influence of the roadside picnic novel by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky and the Stalker film by Andrei Tarkovsky based on it is noticeable. Stalker is a backronym for scavengers, trespassers, adventurers, loners, killers, explorers, and robbers. The mission of Stalkers is to get specific artifacts from the exclusion zone to the store, risking their lives. To tell about Convergence, the Stalker culture is huge. It all started with a book and movie, then turned into games, and games increased the fan base, and it led to the events and more Stalker books from different authors. When social media became popular, memes and songs started to spread, and they were all about Stalkers. This is a starting point of all Stalker madness. Roadside Picnic by Soviet-Russian authors Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. This book was published in 1972 and told readers a story about the visitations that spread in several places around the Earth over a 2-day period, and during this time, some strange phenomena and supernatural artifacts appeared in those zones. Interested? The only spoiler will be the short description of the book. The 6 zones are dependent and controlled by governments and the UN, but the Stalkers go inside to steal artifacts for profit. This book got a huge response. The list of adaptations of this book is so long. Lots of games, films, and center-stage creators adapted the plot of this book, and even now, almost 50 years after the release, this book is still being adapted. The Amazon Prime series, Tales from the Loop, 2020, is based on the brothers' book. Also, the Strugatskys became honorary members of Mark Twain's Society after their science fiction novel was translated into English. However, we'll look closer on the convergence to the film Stalker by the director Andrei Tarkovsky. Andrei Tarkovsky got the idea that Stalker had become quite popular among people and started filming Stalker, that was published in 1917, 7 years after the release of the book. That is the first big example of convergence. The book was adapted in the film industry. The plot of the film had lots of similarities with the book, and I do not want to spoil it if you want to watch. All I want to say about the film: 4.3 million tickets were sold only in Soviet Union, and it got a bunch of awards. First, it became one of the 50 greatest films of all times in 2012. It became a 49th greatest non-English language film in 2018. It got 8.6 out of 10 in review aggregator named Rotten Tomatoes, and it got Cannes Film Festival Award. Do you know the rules of the festival Burning Man? It actually started in San Francisco because of the film made in Soviet Union. Yeah, Stalker influenced the Cacophony Society in the San Francisco Bay Area, which organized zone trips for participants. The first burning of a wooden symbolic man at the Black Rock Desert, Nevada, occurred during zone trip number 4 in 1990. This occasion evolved into an enormous annual festival of arts, music, culture called Burning Man. And by now, the main audience of Stalker is middle-aged people who go to the cinema and who read books. And that's when it all started. 2007, almost 30 years after the movie, GSC Game World released the game Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. That was a real banger of those times. The protagonist of the game is a stalker named Mark I, whose mission is to kill the other stalker, Strelok. During the game, the protagonist finds out clues about his past and uncovers his real identity while fighting with anomalies and helping other stalkers. The game has 7 different endings, and they depend on different factors like the amount of money or recollections of the protagonist's past. This game blown up all gamers' communities and attracted teenagers by using up-to-date technologies and engaging RPG-style gameplay. By September 2008, GSC Game World has sold 2 million copies of the game worldwide. All of big gaming critics like Eurogamer and Game Informer rated the game 8 out of 10 and above. Another game from the series was Stalker Clear Sky, that was released in September 2008. The protagonist of this game was different to the Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, the story told about Scar, the guy who suffered from the radioactive emission and got some superpower because of that. The gameplay didn't change much, and the plot is based on the character Strelok again, as Scar has an aim to locate Fang, who was a part of Strelok's group. All in all, this game had not so many graphic and technological upgrades and got no more than 7 out of 10 from big gaming communities. The last game by now was Stalker Call of Pripyat, which was released in the end of 2009 in CIS countries and in the beginning of 2010 in the whole world. The action takes place after the Shadow of Chernobyl actions. During this game, the Ukrainian government tries to cool down the situation in the zone and to clean it from anomalies. The protagonist of the game is Major Alexander Degtyaryov, and on his way to Pripyat, he also meets the main character Strelok and gets secrets of the zone from him. However, the mission was not successful, and the game trilogy ends with the thought that the zone can expand and cover Russia and Europe in future. And unexpectedly now, the Stalker 2 game was announced. The release date is supposed to be in April 2022. Yeah, somebody waits 13 years for the release of a new part of a game, and you cannot wait a week for a new episode of your series. So, the story about stalkers has already covered 3 medias at this point of the video: book, film, and game. But now the main audience is teenagers. After the great success of Stalker games, GSC Game World came up with the idea of hosting the Stalker Fest. The participants of the event created some Stalker-style costumes to stand out from the crowd. The program of the event was quite engaging. There was a performance of stuntmen, a trial of the third Stalker Call of Pripyat game, laser tag, costumes contest, etc. etc. Participants enjoyed the festival. They wanted to feel the attachment to the game. This is why hundreds of people created the costumes and participated in the contest. The participants, mostly young people, were absolutely crazy about this event and games. With the growth of social media and the appearance of memes, funny pictures, Stalker hit other forms of media like memes and songs. The most popular meme were built around a seller from the game named Sigarvich, who gave tasks to the protagonists and trade some artifacts for money or products and medicine. All the jokes were about his appearance, words he chose, and game features connected with him. As for songs, I cannot include them in this video as it will be banned by YouTube, but I remember how everybody was crazy in my city in Russia about these songs around 2009 and 2011. All in all, this is amazing and fantastic to see how the plot of one book turned into the huge industry. Only in this video we covered 6 types of media that this plot touched on most of all. This example is the best explanation and description of media convergence. Almost 50 years ago, it started with a book, and next year, 2021, the new Stalker 2 will be released. Isn't it fantastic? Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the zone.